What's up YouTube? I'm Mike and today I'm back with another video. My recent videos are massively underperforming relative to baseline, so apparently YouTube has decided to play some little games with the fucking algorithm, which makes me just want to up the ante a little bit more. So today we're going to be talking about a very fucking controversial topic in this country, and that is the ongoing border crisis. Our president and commander-in-chief seems to have no idea how to solve this problem. In fact, really, if we're being honest, no one previously has been able to solve the illegal immigration problem in this country. And I did solve it. I've had a solution to this problem for a very long time now, and I'm going to tell you that solution today. Before I tell you that solution, I need to make it abundantly clear that this video is for entertainment purposes only. This is pure and simply a what-if scenario. Like, what if we did this? This is not a video intending to incite any kind of actual behavior. I'm not condoning any of these behaviors. I'm certainly not saying that anyone should do anything illegal. Do not break any laws. What I'm proposing is that we change the laws in this country so that what I suggest as a solution to the border crisis would be in fact a legal thing to do. So what we have, independent of what you believe is right or wrong, whether or not these people should be allowed in our country or whether they should not be allowed in our country, what we definitively have is tens, hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens streaming across the border on a near daily basis, which is causing all kinds of problems inside of our society. And this has created a situation that puts an incredible strain on every city that has to try to accommodate these people. This is one of the things that's made this a hot topic because my governor, Governor Greg Abbott of Texas, has been busing these people to the supposedly sanctuary cities who real quickly find out that they don't want them there either because they create a massive strain on their economies. And so you've got all of these people and you've got all of these tax dollars that are being funneled into a process whereby we need to vet who's coming into the country, decide who gets, asylum from some imaginary war or some imaginary abuse. It's all bullshit, and it's all being perpetuated by the libtard agenda to just pad their voter numbers. That's all that's really going on. Anybody with half of a fucking brain knows this. But the problem is that no one seems to have a good solution for how to fix this, and most importantly, fix it in a way that doesn't inconvenience the American taxpayer. Donald Trump's idea was to build a wall around America, and I did support this idea. It's unfortunately very expensive. It costs taxpayer money. It's slow going, and I'm not entirely certain that a wall is really going to work in the long run. I mean, how long until you figure out how to scale it or cut it down or, dig a tunnel under it? So here's my solution to the border crisis. It's very simple. We could solve this crisis in maybe 2 fucking weeks' time. Step number 1 is we need Congress to pass a law or to change the law making any illegal immigration into the United States of America a capital offense. It needs to first and foremost be a capital offense to walk across our border without permission. Any person caught crossing the border of the United States at any place in time should immediately be guilty of a capital offense. Now, why a capital offense? The reason that it should be a capital offense is, for one, these people are invaders. They have invaded our sovereign territory, and we cannot possibly know what their intentions are. The only way to have a safe and protected country or state is to take the very pessimistic view that these people are attempting to do serious bodily injury to any and any and all Americans they come into contact with. You can't just assume these are good people and hope everything goes good, because that's exactly how you could get a fucking million man army to infiltrate your country, all under the guise that we're just looking for help, until somebody puts a gun in their hand and then they go out and they start committing atrocities because they've already bedded down in our cities all over the fucking country. So you can't trust these people out the gate. You can't assume the best, because they've already broken the law. So they are already criminals. They know that the second they cross the border, they're committing a crime. Good people don't commit crimes, right? So we have to take the most pessimistic view that anybody who chooses to voluntarily, illegally cross our border is hell-bent on doing serious bodily injury to any Americans or to the American infrastructure. So these people should immediately be considered guilty of a capital offense. And when you are found guilty of a capital offense, one of the punishment options is death. And that's what these people should receive. They should receive the death penalty for breaking the laws of this land, committing the capital crime of illegal immigration. Now, there's a lot of them. So how are you going to do this in such a way as to prevent an incredible burden on the American taxpayer and just backlog our courts into oblivion? Because see, here's the thing that I think people don't understand. The solution to a problem needs to be much more efficient than the problem itself. So if you make something a crime and you put it through the normal judicial system, then all of a sudden you've got 100,000 or 1 million court cases getting backlogged in the system. This causes lots of man hours and lots of problems. So what we need is rapid justice. And we need justice that not only doesn't cost the American taxpayer, but actually creates value for the American taxpayer. So what you do is, first you declare crossing the border illegally to be a capital offense. And then secondarily, you declare that all illegal aliens are effectively an invasive species. That's right, they're an invasive species. So for example, the grass carp is an invasive species in the state of Texas. If you're out on a water body in the state of Texas and you catch a grass carp, you are expected to kill that fish immediately because it's destroying the water bodies in Texas. And so once you declare that an illegal alien is an invasive species, now you have a good justification for executing the death penalty on the spot. We don't need to go through the judicial system. These people don't have any rights. All of the rights that we're afforded as Americans, like speedy trial, no search and seizure of your private property or your person, these rights only apply to American citizens. These people are criminals and potentially invaders. They have no fucking rights at all. So, what you set up is not fences. You set up control towers all along the border with Border Patrol agents who monitor these sections of the border 24 hours a day, with night vision goggles at night, with high-powered, scopes and spotting scopes during the day. And you mark along the border, all along the border, you mark with laser designators or some kind of like a green light, ideally a light that points at another light, so that if a body or something walks in between them, it breaks the link and they turn red. Something like this would be ideal, but we don't really need it. What we need is clearly marked boundaries, okay? We could just use one side of the Rio Grande in most cases of this situation. So, first, you make it a capital offense to illegally cross the border of the United States. Second, you declare all illegal aliens to be an invasive species. And third, you make the penalty for illegal immigration the death penalty. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. The final step in this solution is how you mete out this death penalty that doesn't inconvenience the American taxpayer. What you do is you sell illegal alien hunting tags. That's right. We've got thousands, maybe millions of hunters all over the world who go and hunt all manner of animals. And so, depending on what state or county you live in, you may be entitled to take 1 or 2. There's a limit to how many does, bucks, elk, moose that you can take in a given location in the country. And so when you take game, you have to put a tag on it. And in some cases, generally speaking, these tags cost money. Sometimes you can buy special tags to take special kinds of animals, trophy animals, and those tags cost more money. So in order to generate revenue for the American people while solving this problem, you should set a pretty hefty price for these tags. I don't know what we could get for them. $500 a tag? $1,000 a tag? And I think we should set the daily limit at no daily limit. So if you go and you buy, say, 5 illegal alien hunting tags, this will allow you to sit in a tree stand, a deer blind, on the side of the fucking, wherever, sit down here on the border in Texas. We will welcome you with fucking open arms. You could come from far and wide. You could be a hunter from New York or from Michigan or where the fuck ever. Come on down here, get your out-of-state hunting license, buy you some illegal alien tags. They're going to be expensive. And then you can sit down on the border with a high-powered rifle. And when one of these illegal aliens walks across the border, they just committed a capital offense, punishable by the death penalty, and are now considered an invasive species, and it is your duty to shoot this fucking person dead where they stand, tag the body, and contact the local authorities. Now, what we do with these bodies after that is really up to a lot of factors. In hunting, generally speaking, the hunter's allowed to bring home his game if he has an illegal kill. He's allowed to bring home his game and eat the meat. I don't know if there are any laws in America about cannibalism. I haven't checked that part. Something we could look into. But I do know that there's lots of starving kids supposedly all over the world. So it seems to me that we could put this meat to good use somewhere and possibly solve another problem, which is apparently world hunger. If we've got people who cannot pull their fucking heads out of their asses long enough to institute better legislation in their own countries, they don't want to do the very hard work of nation building and unfuck the state of Mexico or Venezuela or wherever the fuck these people are coming from, and they want to illegally invade our country, they're going to do so at the risk of death. And so the second you step foot across the Rio Grande into the United States, you should be open to execution by a hunter holding a illegal alien hunting tag. And if we did this, illegal immigration, that problem would end in a weekend. How many fucking people, how many news articles do you think they're going to have to print of people getting their heads taken off with 30-06s and 270s and fucking 308s and AR-15s before the Mexicans and the Venezuelans and the Hondurans and all these fucking people from middle and South America start figuring out these Americans mean business. This whole border crisis would stop over fucking night if we actually tried to do something to stop the problem. That's the thing in America. We don't really try to solve problems. There's a million ways we could solve problems. We could solve the drug crisis overnight too. We could solve illegal drug dealing with 2 pieces of legislation. This is, Joe Biden's out here saying right now, just give me the power. Give me the power. Pass a bill that will give me the power to solve the border crisis. Here's your bill. This is how you do it. Because I'm telling you right now, we won't even need this law in the books for very long. The second you start shooting people who cross the fucking border, they're going to stop coming. They're immediately going to stop coming. No person in half of a fucking brain is going to send their wife and kid shuffling across the Rio Grande knowing that there is some hunter with an itchy trigger finger just waiting to tag one of them. And so right then and there, problem solved. Now, I know there's people in my audience who've already unsubscribed, freaked out, reported the video, which you can't because this is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not saying we should really do this. I'm just promoting this as an idea for fucking discussion. Maybe we should talk about it. maybe we should talk about it. Because nobody else is coming up with any better ideas. I'm fully open to some ideas that actually fucking work and actually address the problem at its root cause. But nobody's putting forth any ideas that address the problem at its root cause. My problem will solve the problem overnight, and it will actually lead in less death and suffering than the current administration's. Because there's people who are dying on a regular basis. This is the big complaint from all the libtards right now is, oh, Texas is pulling the concertina wire and the Mexicans are dying in the wire. Not the smart ones. Who's dying in the wire? If you crawl into a barrel, if you crawl into a spool of razor wire and die, we did not need you on this planet to begin with. Okay, this is no great loss. If this is the kind of shit your brain thinks is a good idea, this is why you live in a shithole country, because you clearly don't possess the brain power necessary for making good conscientious decisions with your life, with the lives of your family, if you think scrambling through razor wire just might be the way to get to the fucking promised land. Okay, so this is my idea. What do you think? Hunters in the audience, sure there's some of you. Any of you willing to admit that if we pass this law, you would come down to the state of Texas and buy you up some illegal alien hunting tags and be part of the fucking solution instead of the problem? Because that's my biggest concern with this whole thing is you got all these gun nuts. Yeah, I'm a hunter. I'm a gun guy. I got a whole arsenal of fucking guns. And I'm always like, yeah, dude, that's cool, but you shoot defenseless animals. It's not exactly the flex I think you're looking for. Do you have the balls to pull the trigger on a human? Do you? You got that in you? I don't know why why they have any more or less right to life than that deer standing out there in the field. You got no problem lowering the scope on that high-powered rifle and putting a round through a deer's heart at 300 yards and dropping him where he stands. That deer's not causing Americans any fucking problems. He's not living off of our welfare system. He's not soaking up our tax dollars. He's not clogging up our infrastructure. He's not clogging up fucking hotel rooms in New York City. He's not causing any of the fucking problems that illegal immigration causes in this country every single fucking day. So if you can put a bullet in a defenseless animal's heart who causes no real problems, but you can't get your fucking punk ass down here to Texas and start taking out some of these illegal aliens, then you're not half the hunter, half the man I thought you fucking were. Because I guarantee you one thing. You give me my gun rights you give me my gun rights back, you give me the fucking opportunity to sit down here on the border with a fucking 308, for example, or maybe a 6.5 Creedmoor. My ass will build a tiny house down there on the Rio Grande. That's all I'll be doing, is hunting all day, every fucking day, until this problem is solved. Because the problem is solvable, but it's solvable in this kind of thinking way. You have to be more ruthless than the enemy. You have to stop this bleeding heart agenda where we're going to try to protect the fucking lives of everybody around us. Bullshit. America first. Take care of Americans' lives and Americans' future and then worry about everybody the fuck else. We could stop this problem overnight if anybody actually cared to stop it. My light's out. That tells me it's time for this video to be over. So as always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.